Since we've been working on building, changing the dialogue that we say in our heads and say to ourselves, you'll recall that we started with acknowledging when we relaxed and breathed the feelings and emotions that came up, and then the same with the feelings and emotions associated with the things we wanted to do and change. And it's really important to note here that any change, even positive, is very stressful to the body because the body works very hard to do the work it needs to do with what you are doing as a lifestyle right now. So even sometimes when you make positive changes, it's still an adjustment to your body, and it is a stress on your body to work to adjust what it's been doing to adapt with that change. So we worked on the dialogue that comes with that, because when that stress is experienced in the body, it also is associated with emotions that are triggered, and then those emotions cause a physiological reaction in your body. So it can be an association you have with something or just a reaction, and most times after time it's very subconscious, so it's really hard for you to know what you're saying and doing that could be working against you. So there's a really cool technique that is extremely powerful, and I'm going to share the basic form of it with you today because I think it's something worth investigating. And if you work on the basic form, you're going to really see changes in your patterns, your association, your feelings with things. And mostly what you're going to start to notice is things just don't seem as hard. So it's almost like it breaks down the barriers you have. So it's a really valuable technique. It's called EFT. It's also known as EFT Tapping, Emotional Freedom Technique. It works with the acupressure points in your body. And it does seem a little voodoo-like when you first try it out, and you actually sometimes feel a little ridiculous doing it. But it's a really powerful tool. And the best way I can explain it, how it works, is what it does is you start to acknowledge those emotions, positive and negative. And while you're tapping on the acupressure points, it's creating a rest, relaxation sense in your body. It's helping the energy calm down and flow. And so really, truthfully, people say you're either in flight or fight mode, or you're in rest or relaxation mode. And I think people don't realize that. They just assume when they're really stressed, they're in fight or flight mode. But the truth is 80% of us actually operate in fight or flight mode for most of the day. And that other 20% probably part of the day. So it's really hard for our body to get into that rest and relaxation mode where it can accept new change and deal with new change and perceive that new change as very calming and relaxing to the body. So here's what happens is this technique gives that sensation to your body. And so you can actually go through dealing with any emotions or actions or habits that you have and create a different associated reaction in your body to it. So that's why it can be so powerful. So I'm going to go through the points quickly. I'm going to tell you how you can start the process that deals with the realities of where you are, and then move to a more positive dialogue. But the cool thing about EFT is you actually deal with the negative. So you want to acknowledge the negative in this process because it'll help the negative not seem so negative to your body. And then you move to the positive. So those positive changes are really perceived as good things in your system. So often one of the acupressure points that people start with is in the hand. And a lot of EFT tapping will tell you to start there just to go through some of the basic concepts you want to deal with. And it's also a really cool technique. You can do either hand, and it's in the fat part of the hand, and you're just tapping it, just like an acupressure point. So you're not sticking a needle in, but the tapping can have a similar reaction. And what this part of the technique is really valuable if you're in a situation, because you'll find some of the other tapping stuff a little out there. So you're not going to do it in public or in an uncomfortable situation. But this hand technique can be really valuable to use at many times, if you can just go somewhere quickly, and it will cause a relaxation sensation as you sort of work through what you're doing. So it's also a good point to go through the hand acupressure point to sort of set your intention, like what you want to deal with at this point. So for example, if it was food that you were dealing with, you go, I don't know why I always choose food that doesn't serve me well. I don't know why I continue to eat the less desirable things to fuel and feed my body. I don't know why I always intend to eat better, but it always turns out that I end up. And you just keep tapping this as you're going through the thought process. And then what you're going to do is you sort of always want to add a little piece that suggests you love and accept yourself as it is. So this part of you that you think is less desirable and you're fighting all the time, accept it. It's you, and it probably actually serves you in some ways that you don't even realize. So let's try to go, oh, that's okay. That's who we are, but we also want to do something new and better. So, I don't know why I continue to make bad choices in eating when I prefer to eat better so that I had more energy, felt better, and could do more of the things I love. That's how I would end that. Then you want to move to other acupressure points, and you just keep thinking through the process. So you start with the middle of the eyebrow. It can be one finger, it can be both. And so you just start going, I always feel like I've tried so hard to eat better, and it's just sometimes not worth the effort. Be really honest. It's really important here that you're really, really honest. And just think through the issues and just think as you speak. Then it's the side of the eye. And sometimes these points can be a little sensitive. So it's sort of a hint that you want to be gentle, but that it's a good point to sort of move whatever may be blocked there in physically there to help things flow. And so then you just keep thinking it through. I do want to eat better, so I'm not sure why I always sabotage myself. I would like to understand better why it is that I don't make better choices. And then you go top of the lip. It feels a little weird, but top of the lip. And just keep talking it through. I do love and accept myself and know that I am trying really hard to eat better. And sometimes it seems like I'm on a good path, and sometimes it just seems like I get completely off course. Then you're going to go to collarbone. So again, it can just be one hand or you can go with two. And right on the collarbone, just sort of below it, at the bottom of the bone, is where you're going to be tapping. And so you just continue to talk through. I believe that I have the ability to make better choices, but something seems to always stop me from continuing to do it. And then side of the arm, under the arm, is another point. So it's really under the armpit, just down a little bit, just at the top of your ribs, and you touch on the side. Same thing, keep speaking and keep talking to yourself. I want to make better choices. I buy better food. I don't want to waste it. And then top of your head. I prefer that my body feels better than it does every day, and I know I have the knowledge to make better choices. And so you've gone through one round. You're going to keep going through those rounds, and you're really going to move each round a little bit closer to where you want to be. So keep talking. So, I've gathered a lot of knowledge. I've sought out a lot of information to try and figure out how I can get around this. And yet I always seem to lose ground after some time. I know that I can do better. I know that I'm a strong person, and I know what's best for me. I know that I will feel better and do better as time goes on. I just wish that I didn't always have to find that period where I failed and feel bad about myself. I know that it's important to talk to myself better. I know that I can make better choices throughout the day. And I know that eating well serves me very well. And I know that I am trying really hard, and that in some senses, I really should stop and congratulate myself for the efforts that I have made. I have made a lot of changes in my life to improve my health and wellness, and I do a lot for my family and friends to help them through these challenges too. But it's really important that I take care of myself right now. I know I have the knowledge and the ability, so I will continue to make good choices. And I will focus on the foods that serve me well. And most of all, I will enjoy the foods that sometimes make me feel really good and give me cravings, because I know I deserve them because I've been feeding myself so well at other points. I enjoy eating well. It serves me well. I enjoy feeling good about myself, and I know that healthy food is associated with that. So I will continue to make efforts to feed myself as well as I can and enjoy all food when it's appropriate. Food is the fuel of life. It gives me vitality, and I've worked very hard on trying to make improvements there. I congratulate myself for the efforts that I have made. I commend myself that I have worked hard and never totally given up on this venture. I know that I deserve good, healthy food and energy for life. I love myself with the mistakes that I've made and the improvements that I have made. And I will continue to improve, enjoying healthy food, enjoying life, and enjoying myself, feeling better. And that's it. It's as simple as that. You can go longer, you can go shorter. It's really whatever you're able to do. Every time that you do this, you move those thoughts and feelings closer to a relaxation state. So it's really valuable to continue to do it as consistently as you want. You will notice a difference. You'll just notice a difference with your association with the things you want to accomplish. But it's really important to accept everything about yourself, because quite honestly, I will tell you, most things that we perceive as very negative about ourselves have caused us to have other positive attributes or have helped us survive in certain times throughout our life. So they're not as negative as we think. So let's accept them, acknowledge them, and then let's move a little bit past them so that we can accomplish even more of what we want out of life. EFT tapping is a really helpful solution. I like to think of it like the workouts where, you can do body resistance, or you could add weight while you're doing the same body resistance, or you could add cardio while you're doing the same body resistance, and you double or triple what you've done in that effort. So instead of the lifelong struggle to be more positive and think better and relax in times of stress, add EFT tapping, because it's going to change you physiologically and help you move through any of those issues you can. Oftentimes people will rate on a scale of 1 to 10 before they start how they feel and then go through the tapping. Sometimes 5, 6, 10 rounds of tapping can be really helpful. And then they rate how they feel on that scale at the end. And that can be real proof in the pudding. But for me, I think with continued effort, you'll start to notice association with the things you found so hard to do, and all of a sudden they start to become a little easier. So you can do the same thing with exercise. I love to do this exercise. Why do I always cop out and hold it back? It makes me feel so good, and yet I always put it off until it's too late, that kind of talk. Really do it with anything that you want to accomplish and add into your life, and for some reason it always feels like you stop short or there's something holding you back. I'm also going to give you a lot of dialogue in text form that will give you some really positive thoughts to say to yourself. Things like, the real truth is, I am okay as I am. I validate myself. I love my imperfections because they make me who I am. I will feed myself with healthy nutrition so that I can live the best life possible. I am okay with myself, and when I am not okay, it's okay to let others know. I can ask for help. I'm worthy of love. I'm open to new freedom and joy. That's what this will bring you. I deserve peace in my life, and I have the ability to make it happen. There's quite a long list here I'll share with you. These are ones I have enjoyed using. And then a few really strong and powerful ones to end with were stuff like me. I am me, perfectly me, perfect in every way, perfect because I am different. From this point forward, I plan to give myself the gift of living my best life. I deserve the best, as does everyone else. I love me for me. It's very powerful, and because you will end on these really positive notes, you can travel through any challenges and get to that point and allow your body to feel okay with whatever is going on. And I can promise you that that's when the best choices can be made for yourself, and they'll be a million times easier than they've ever been for you to this date. So good luck with this. Enjoy it. Yes, it feels a little silly, but I promise when you see some of the effects from it, it'll be all worth it. Good luck.